What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about some of the best drills that you guys can do to avoid knee injuries. Let's get started. Now, before we get into this video, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like access to 500 plus wide receiver drills and gym exercises you can do, all mapped out into a weekly schedule for 2 months. We map out everything with sets and reps, give you a video example of each drill, an example of each gym exercise, everything wide receivers should be doing. Check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested in that, fellas, and want to take your skills to that next level. Let's get back to this video. All right, guys, so these drills we're going to be going over today are mainly based to protect yourself when making a cut downfield as a wide receiver. So a lot of times wide receivers injure themselves based on foot strike, cutting mechanics, and honestly just wrong like weight distribution, if you will. And that's what all these drills we're going to be discussing will cover today. And it's always important to do these types of drills, fellas, and not neglect these, because building good habits is what prevents injury on the field. So this first drill is going to help you guys with the break where you have to drop your hips, right? Where you have to snap down like a comeback, like a curl. And this is one of those routes that everybody's hesitant on, right? So like when you're running a route, you have to think that, okay, I'm trying to sell vertical. I'm trying to make this DB think I'm running a fade. So to do that, I have to be able to move with some speed. I got to be running in full stride. I got to make sure that my hips and my shoulders are committed to the break. I got a lot of speed moving downfield when I do that, fellas. So to be able to cut when I do that, if you cut wrong and you have the wrong type of foot strike, that puts a lot of pressure on your knee, and that's how we can hurt myself. So one of the main mistakes that receivers will do to slow down in that case is they'll break, but they reach outside their frame. They strike the ground on their heel first. And guys, when you hit your heel first on this type of cut, all that energy shoots back up, your leg can hyperextend, and that puts a ton of pressure on your knee. I'm sure all you guys probably saw Odell tear his ACL in that Super Bowl, right? And when you go back and you watch the clip, how did his foot strike the ground? It went heel toe. His toes snapped down. So this drill helps us build good habits and not have that issue happen when I'm making that cut, dropping my hips. So all you're going to do, hands are going to be behind your back. You're going to lean with your chest first, and you are just going to pretty much fall. You're trying to get your body parallel with the grass. So you're just going to fall, and then at the last second, you are going to drop. Now, when we drop, we are not going to let my heel touch the ground. We are solely going to be on my tippy toes, ball of the foot, and you're going to feel this burn in your leg a little bit, but that is strengthening the exact position that we need when I'm running full speed downfield and I have to make a cut and make a break to be able to get out of this route. So fellas, striking the ground, the ball of the foot on the toes on this drill is crazy important. I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so this next drill we're going to be talking about is going to work on pretty much you hooking around out of a break. That's where you have to drop your hips into it, like a comeback, like a curl, like a dig. You're going to see what I mean in a second when I explain this drill. So like, let's say, for example, you're running a comeback route. And let's say the quarterback's over here. I'm running and I snap down on my inside foot. That's like the trigger step, if you will. And that trigger step is what triggers your hips, gets you low, and allows you to stop on a dime. Now, after I drop into this break, what do I have to do? I have to flip my hips out of the break and be able to drive. Now, in a perfect world, what we would like to do on that break is get in and out in 3 steps. A little unrealistic at times, especially if you're a younger wide receiver and you're trying to cut 12 to 15 yards downfield. It's a little unrealistic. It can be doable, it can be done, but it's a little unrealistic. But in a perfect world, we would like to snap, we would like to pivot, and we would like to hook this 3rd step around so I could drive off that 3rd step. Now, the hook step, aka the hook step. So this drill is working on that hook step, staying inside your frame. The end of this drill is very important. So what a lot of receivers try to do is they try to get out of the break too quickly with their shoulders and with their head, leaving their feet outside their frame. And when we cut outside of my frame, as we know from that last example being heel toe, that's stepping outside of your shoulder frame. That's where the injuries happen, and that puts a lot of pressure on your knee. So a lot of guys will snap down, they'll pivot, and they try to turn, and that foot lands outside of their frame. That hook step needs to stay inside of your hips, and that's exactly what this drill is going to be working on. So what you're doing is you're going to be over here. You're going to stand chest facing the cones, and all we're going to do, fast hands, fast feet. You're going to flip and turn the toe towards like where the camera is, but you're going to keep it inside your frame. You're not going to step out here. You're going to keep it inside your frame. Then you're going to go back. You're going to do the same thing on this one, and I'm going to show you how this is going to look full speed in a second. But on the last one, this is the most important one. You're going to hook. Make sure that foot stays inside your frame. Something I tell my wide receivers is keep your chest outside of your knee, and then we're going to drive. And that drive off the last cut right there replicates that drive that we need getting in and out of that break where I snap, pivot and hook. Or like a whip route. When you're running a whip route, what do? You drop and you hook this foot around. We don't want to hook outside my frame. So this helps with those two types of breaks, which honestly leads to a lot of knee problems for receivers if they don't do this correctly. So I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so this next drill that we're going to be talking about today is going to help you with like a single cut at the top of a post, a corner, etc., and making that cut safe, right? So again, it's the same idea as when you're running downfield and you have to drop your hips into a break. You don't want to be outside of your frame. So like, let's say, for example, I'm running a post, quarterback's to the right of me, I'm taking off, but I reach outside my frame and I strike heel toe and I drag the back foot and I try to over exaggerate this cut. That puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on your knee downfield because you're reaching outside of your frame. We never want to strike the ground heel toe and have that leg hyper extend. And 99% of the time, fellas, that's because guys step outside their frame and have the wrong foot strike. Like I was talking to, we had a camp the other week in New Jersey, right? And so in New Jersey, there was a dad there whose son was a part of the camp, and he was ex-NFL, played at Rutgers, like very, very big dude. 6'4", 200 something plus pounds. And he was talking about how much wear and tear his body had because he was so big. He ran a 4.382, by the way, so big, so fast, and having to cut on a dime like that without proper form just put so much wear and tear on his body that eventually gave out. And it was, you know, that story that you hear all the time, like guy was in the NFL, or guy made it that far, could have played that far, but injuries kept him away from it. Guys, that happens more often than you think because of improper form. So this drill helps us with the correct foot strike and just replicates that muscle memory that we need to have. So what you're going to need is you need 4 cones on this. All we are literally going to be doing is just jumping from cone to cone, trying to control myself and have the proper foot strike. So you're going to be starting out here on the left foot, and all you're going to do is you're just going to jump to the right foot, landing on the ball of your foot, trying to keep my shin straight. I don't want my knee to cave in. Anytime that I have this knee cave in problem, that puts a lot of pressure on my knee as well. So we're going to sit, and we're going to jump back here, and you're going to hold it for a second, jump back, hold it for a second, and then we're good. Please do not be that guy that just jumps back and forth from the cones. I'm going to show you how this is going to look full speed in a second, even more so. But guys, this is a great drill to work on the foot strike, having the proper knee form, not letting the knee cave in, which can lead to less injuries. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like an 8-week daily workout schedule in the gym and on the field with the exact exercises and drills to follow, we map out everything with sets and reps. It's easy for you guys to keep track of. So again, check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested in that, fellas. I'll see you guys next time.